Sean Haney here with RealAgriculture.com, and I'm joined right now by the Alberta Ag Minister, Minister Oneil Carlier. How are you doing today, sir?
I'm good, Sean. Thank you.
You having a good week?
It's been an interesting week, yes.
Yeah, I'm sure it has been. Okay, so we took questions from our audience via Twitter, and I collected a small number of them that I could. We have a short period of time. One of the main questions that keeps on coming up is the fact that this is about safety. That is one of the components of Bill 6. Question here from @XP Mike is, if this bill is really about safety, how do you justify the decision to exempt colonies and farms without employees?
It's an omnibus bill, Sean. There's other elements to it. The main part was finding a legislative framework of safety framework to paid workers. So there's no built-in exemptions to it, but what it does is for paid workers. So if you don't have any paid workers on your farm or family farm or colony, whatever it might be, then this bill is not applicable. Right.
Okay. So one of the questions that I have in regards to that is fine. It is an omnibus. I completely get that. But if you look at what happened, the tragic accident on the farm with the 3 girls that died this fall, and the tragic accident of the 10-year-old Hutterite boy that rolled the forklift, neither of those would fit under this bill. So how can you say it's about safety?
The bill addresses, safety concerns for paid farm workers. That's what it addresses. It doesn't address, the tragedies you speak of. We all, are still very, very much touched by that. Obviously, we have, some education programs in the province, farm safety center, for example. Doing what we can to make sure our children and our farming families are educated to do what we can to ensure that the farm families, including the children, are safe.
Yeah, so I had many questions from readers asking the question. The industry has been pleading for a tapping of the brakes, a pumping of the brakes to slow. Let's put this on hold so we can consult as an industry with government and talk. Why not be patient and wait till the spring so we can have more discussions about it with the producer groups?
Fair enough question, right? I'm hearing the same concerns in all the town hall meetings I've been attending. We feel strongly in the value of this bill. We feel strongly that it's the right thing to do. There's going to be, consulting around the OH&S labor code, for instance, that'll go on well into 2017. We'll take whatever it takes to make sure we get that right, knowing the diverse nature of farming. Obviously, if you're, growing cucumbers and, in a greenhouse or a cow-calf operation, it's obviously very diverse.
Yeah, so in regards to this slowing down and what's important and what's not as a component of the omnibus bill, Ernie, who's at Fusion_87, asks, if the government's reason for ramming Bill 6 through is WCB coverage, why won't the government drop the rest of the bill and just make a law saying employees that get paid must be covered by some sort of insurance, private or WCB, if that's really what the concern is?
I've heard that as well, Sean. We feel that WCB as a form of no-fault insurance is a better option. Pros and cons to both systems. I would agree with that. But WCB being a no-fault insurance would also give a level of protection to farm and ranches that they wouldn't be able to be litigated, wouldn't be able to be sued if gosh forbid there's a tragic accident.
Okay, so but to Ernie's question, let's just say you made WCB mandatory, and that's the component that you focus on because you're saying it really is about protecting paid farm workers. Why not just focus on that and put the rest off for more consultation?
And that's the part in April in January that's being implemented, the omnibus. But the labor legislation and the code doesn't until April the 1st. And then even with the whole regulation, every industry has different stipulations, different exemptions in it. Like for instance, if you're a baker, you might be required to start work at 3 a.m. or something. So we need to have all those nuances while we work up the code. So there's months, even well over a year before we can consult and get those details.
So there's been a lot of focus here, response from farm owners who are also clearly also work on the farm. Not hearing or not seeing a lot of farm workers saying that, thank goodness, here's Bill 6, and we've been waiting for 90 plus years, as the government is claiming. Where's the support for Bill 6 from farm workers? Because a lot of farm workers have actually been at the rally standing side by side with farm owners saying they don't want Bill 6.
It's been a bit of a, I would agree, it's been a bit of a challenge to, communicate with the farm workers, because by law, up until this bill is passed, up by law, they haven't been allowed to organize. So it has been a bit of a challenge, I would agree.
One of the things that, last night I was listening to Premier Notley's press conference, and she talked about how this is basically bringing ourselves in line with the other agricultural-based provinces. Do you agree with her? Is that true? I'm gonna start with that. I should have probably started earlier on, Sean. I want to acknowledge the farm and ranching community out there for being safe. What I'm hearing the concerns from is not that they're not don't believe in safety for their farm, for themselves and for their workers. They absolutely do. So for sure I want to acknowledge that. It is different, and there's differences in every province. Every province has, built their system to what they feel is their agriculture in their province, and we hope to do the same here. Build something that's right for Alberta and that would work for our agriculture here in Alberta. Well, we've been doing research, talking to experts in other provinces, and our team keeps on hearing that what Alberta's trying to implement is actually over and above anything that they have in their province. So is it about bringing up to the standard of the other provinces, or going past and raising the bar?
I don't think it was ever that intention. Again, it was, we're hoping to, work with the agriculture community to build something that's right for Alberta. There is some wide differences, right across the country. So,
one of the things when during the campaign, when the NDP was elected and Premier Notley was assumed the role of premier, one of the things that was discussed was we need an open and transparent process. So potentially the opportunity for MLAs to vote freely based on their constituents. How do you plan on voting for this bill?
I will vote in cooperation with the rest of my colleagues.
So one of the challenges that the farming community has voting for this bill is that, as the ag minister, you've obviously heard a lot of outrage. You've heard a lot of people saying, I'm not against Bill 6. Some people are saying that, but there's a lot in the middle that are saying, hey, there's parts that I agree with, but let's slow down. So the overwhelming support has to be for slowing down. Our website, actually shortly after you took the position of ag minister, ran a poll. It was called What Makes a Great Provincial Ag Minister? And this is looking across the country. So these are votes from across the country. The number one answer was good listening skills and willingness to learn, with 29% of the vote. Do you feel that by voting with the party that you're executing being a good listener?
I'm hoping that, I'm portraying that particular trait, as I go to all these town hall meetings. I missed the one in Grand Prairie, but I've been to Red Deer, Okotoks, and Lethbridge yesterday. I'll be going to others throughout the, next week as well. So I'm hoping what I'm doing, and I hope people realize that I am there to listen. I am there getting the concerns, and I'm passing on all their concerns to my cabinet colleagues, including the premier. So I hope folks do realize that.
Well, I think a lot of people do have there is some sympathy. It is not a bill from the Ministry of Ag. It is a bill from Job Skills, Labor and Training. We had Minister Sigurdsson on last week. One of the concerns that I've heard from farmers being sympathetic to you is how do you repair or mend the fences after the passing of Bill 6 with the ag community?
I hope that the agriculture community, comes to realize that this isn't a form of punishment. We weren't out to do punitive measures. What it is a level legislative framework for paid farm workers, as well aspects of it that will bring them in line with different rulings from the Supreme Court, as well as supply a benefit, what we see as a benefit as a form of no-fault insurance with WCB. So hope with the right communication, that messaging will get out.
One of the I had a number of direct messages from people wanting me to really ask you the question. People really don't, as we started out the interview about this, is it really about safety, or is it really about the unionization of farm workers across the province? What do you say to that?
I think all workers, doesn't matter the sector, should have that basic human right, as most workers do right across the country. We do feel strongly that the ruling from the Supreme Court will start having a negative effect if we continue to exclude this group of workers from having that right. Going forward, I don't see a large influx of workers all of a sudden become union. It hasn't happened in other provinces, but at least they will have that right.
Minister Carlier, I know you're very, very busy. Thank you very much for the time today. I'm hoping that we can potentially do this again soon. I put out an hour ago that we were going use the hashtag Ask Oneil, and we had a flooding of questions via Twitter for you. So I'm hoping we can have you on again. And thank you very much for joining us this morning. And good luck in the rest of the town halls.
I appreciate that, Sean, and appreciate your efforts, and I look forward to chatting again. All right, take care.